up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Excuse me. I appreciate y'all checking me out. As always, we want to discuss. I want to discuss the Brooklyn Nets. First of all, let me say it's a lot of changes that'll be. I don't want to say changes. Little tweaks that'll be coming to the channel real soon. I'm kind of excited about it. I found my flash drive with my Final Cut Pro, so that's a plus. It's also footage I want to put out. I promise you, I'll put it out before this year is over. Ben Simmons and essentially why Steve Nash or how Steve Nash is using them wrong. Listen, I get that when it comes to certain players, we got an expectation level, and everybody just don't reach those expectation levels. When you got a guy that's getting paid $35 million a year, $40 million a year, whatever it is, you want to utilize that the best way that you can, right? So here's the question. If Russell Westbrook, for example, I hate to use Russ, but if Russell Westbrook is getting paid $50 million, $40 million, whatever it is, you got a lot of vast majority of NBA fans who feel like Russell Westbrook is not worth that much money. All right. But then you turn around and say, well, players get paid for what they did in the past. All right. So just stick with me here. There's no way you can tell me that Ben Simmons is a liability on the court. This is what I'm getting at with the Brooklyn Nets, with Steve Nash, with people who just don't like Ben Simmons in general. And I get it. The man a lot of the time he looked disengaged out there. He don't even look like he know what's going on. A lot of the time, mentally, the boy is just not there, right? But what you will not do is tell me he's a liability out there, right? We talking about a guy who has been an all-team defender. We talking about a guy who coming out of college was compared to LeBron James. I know we got a little ahead of ourselves on that one for sure. Here's the thing though. You don't have to be a shooter to be effective on a basketball court. Now, is Ben Simmons overpaid? I'm gonna have to say, yeah, Ben Simmons is definitely overpaid. But again, if you paying him for what he's done in the past, he can't be overpaid, and he can't be a liability. Why is Ben Simmons not used as we talking about a guy 6'10", 230, 240 pounds? This is essentially a 7-footer. How can he be a liability on the court if he's not a shooter? Draymond is not a shooter. I know he ain't scared to shoot, but Draymond is not a shooter. Steven Adams is not a shooter. The guy they got over there in Brooklyn right now, Nick Claxton, he not a shooter. It's a lot of bigs that around the league that they just not shooters. Even the ones who are not afraid to shoot, they shouldn't be shooting the ball that much. Now, again, I understand that Ben Simmons has some things he need to work out. I get it. I'm not letting Ben completely off the hook, but I'm just not willing to say that he's a liability. A guy 7 feet tall, ball handling skills, solid defense on the perimeter, pretty decent defense in the paint. I would be okay with him like in a small ball lineup. You feel me? I wouldn't. As a matter of fact, I would encourage it. Just think of it like this. Think of Ben Simmons. Look at this lineup. You got Ben Simmons. Let's put him at the 5, right? We got this little dumbass small ball thing where we might would consider Royce O'Neal a power forward. Okay, that's fine. Put him out there at the 4 or the 3. Him and Kevin Durant pretty much interchangeable at that position, right? You put That's three. You put Kyrie Irving out there with Joe Harris or Seth Curry. I mean, what's wrong with that lineup right there? Is If Ben Simmons is the primary ball handler in that lineup, how can he not be effective? We talking about if you out on the open court, you're looking for somebody to make the plays, set the plays up, make the right pass. I mean, he easily is the best passer on the team, right? I'm not sure if it's many people who would disagree with that. A guy with that type of speed, size, athleticism, there's no way he can be a liability. I honestly, I really, in my heart of hearts, believe that Ben Simmons is not being used the right way. Now, again, I'm not letting him completely off the hook. When you look at the Brooklyn Nuts, they have a below 500 record. I mean, it's not even 10 games into the season, but ye- we get the direction of most of these teams, and the Nets being one of them. I don't see them being any better of a team than they were last year, meaning that they a play-in tournament team at the best, right? That's just my position on the Brooklyn Nets. All in all, I don't think, and I promise you, I'm going to get footage. I'm gonna get this footage. I had some. I found my flash drive with the Final Cut Pro. I thought I got some good footage of Ben Simmons the other day, at least the way that I would utilize him. I think Steve Nash during the Dallas game, I think he used him the right way. I think it was more of an experiment though. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think he really, I don't think we've seen enough of him. Let's just think about like a guy like Isaiah Stewart or Draymond Green, somebody who can really set screens, a guy like Clint Capella. Now I get that these dudes have other talents that are unique. So does Ben Simmons. He has a unique talent as well. All right. A unique skill set, I'll say, at his size. And I really think that that could be used more. I think that he should be used more in screen situations, high pick and roll situations. Coming up the court, I think he should be handling the ball a little bit more than Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, just for the space and issues, right? If you got Ben Simmons bringing the ball up the court, think about it in like a a fast break type of situation. If you got Ben Simmons bringing the ball up the court, coming full steam ahead at you, or just whatever in the half court offense, look, man, you can spread the perimeter out. You got Kevin Durant, you got Kyrie Irving. We should see more motion. We should see more movement around the Brooklyn Nets, around Ben Simmons. We should see way more movement than we do instead of this hero ISO ball. I think that if you're not just sitting in one place waiting for the ball to come to you so you can shoot the ball, look, man, take some notes out of Golden State's books, man. You understand what I'm saying? I think that you can. I really do believe that you could make Ben Simmons work. In fact, I believe that if the Warriors had Ben Simmons instead of Draymond Green, I think that they'll be in the same position. I'm not trying to discredit anything that Draymond does. I'm just pointing out the fact that Ben Simmons and Draymond Green, they basically do the same things. All right. They do. You might not want to hear it. You might disagree, but they do the same things. Draymond Green, we know he's not a good shooter. We know that he'll get to the rim and miss a layup. He'll miss a dunk. We know these things. All right. And I think that Ben Simmons can do a lot of the same things. He can pass just as good as Draymond Green. Maybe not defend as good as Draymond Green. Draymond I mean, he's a defensive player of the year, but I still think that Ben has, I mean, above average defense. I think he got above average defense. And it's just my 10 cents on the whole situation. I think that Ben Simmons is I think he's not being used the right way. I don't think that he is a 35, $40 million man. It's just what the market dictate right now. I guess I think a lot of people are overpaid. I honestly do. I think a lot of people are overpaid. Seriously, but That's just what the market is. That's the business of the game. You feel me? But I want to come on here and get my 10 cents right quick on Ben Simmons and the Brooklyn Nets. I think that Steve Nash is absolutely on the hot seat over there, man. There's no reason that this team suck as bad as it do, even though they don't have a lot of size. They don't really have. I think they got a decent amount of bench depth. If you look at the other teams around the NBA in comparisons to these guys, I think they do have a pretty solid. I mean, they got pretty solid depth. I don't think they know worse or better than the Los Angeles Clippers. So that's another topic for another day. Appreciate y'all checking me out, though. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.